It all begins while Erkan is serving in the military. Right after a devastating earthquake that destroyed several houses and buildings, he goes out to patrol the affected area. During his patrol, he sees a hooded person leaving a house carrying some objects. Assuming it might be a thief, he decides to follow this person and ends up seeing them enter a simple house. When he knocks on the door to investigate, he discovers it's Dicle, a beautiful young woman from a very humble background. He asks if she was the one leaving the house with those items, and she confirms. Very nervous, she explains that after the earthquake, she had to take supplies to keep the house warm and feed her mother, who is sick and bedridden. With a trembling voice and clearly desperate, she insists she is not a thief. She only took food and supplies because she truly needed them. Then she begs him not to turn her in to the police. Erkan promises he won't report her, but asks to enter the house to check the situation. When he sees the conditions Dicle and her mother are living in, he is heartbroken. Feeling the need to help, he later returns with firewood to warm the house and even covers a hole in the roof. The next morning, Dicle, very grateful for his help, prepares something for him to eat. While he eats, they talk. He tells her he is from Istanbul, and she reveals she has never left her own backyard and has never gone to school. Surprised, Erkan offers to talk to her older brothers about school, but Dicle panics and begs him not to tell them anything because they might beat her. Crying, she asks him to leave and not tell anyone. Still shaken by everything he witnessed, Erkan walks away from the house, but ends up running into 3 men who were waiting to kidnap Dicle. A heavy shootout begins, and Dicle screams for him to get inside the house. During the shooting, Erkan gets shot. Even wounded, he tries to move closer, but gets shot again and falls. Dicle manages to drag him inside, but then realizes her mother was also hit and is no longer alive. In despair, Dicle says she will surrender because he is a soldier and needs to survive. After 3 days, Dicle is rescued and taken to the hospital. There, she overhears her brothers talking about her purity. This is the moment when their destinies are about to become permanently connected. Believing the family's honor was stained, her brothers decide Dicle should die. When Erkan finds out she is in the same hospital, he tries to visit her, but is stopped by her brothers. Suspicious, he decides to go to her house after both are discharged. When he arrives, he finds a shocking scene. Her brothers are truly determined to kill her. With no other option, he proposes marriage to save her life. His plan was to lie and say they would get married just to get her out of the house, but her brothers would only allow her to leave if the marriage actually happened. The problem is, Erkan was already engaged to another woman in an arranged engagement set up by his family. Even so, he must choose, follow his family's wishes or save the life of the young woman who saved his. Before he even realizes it, he ends up at the registry office, getting legally married. The plan was to divorce later, but Dicle refuses. For her, marriage is serious and permanent. She is simple and comes from a very humble background and can't understand that this was only to protect her. 1 week later, Erkan finishes his military service and returns to Istanbul. Dicle insists on going with him, believing they will now live as husband and wife. She still doesn't understand that, for him, the marriage was only a way to save her life. The most tense moment happens when Erkan arrives home and finds his entire family waiting, including his fiancée. Everyone is shocked when he shows up accompanied by a simply dressed young woman. And the first episode ends exactly at that moment, when his family asks who she is, and he realizes he needs to explain everything. That was the summary of the first episode. Leave in the comments what you think about the story. Don't forget to like. Your support means a lot. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.